Hello everyone, using data, facts, and statistics. Today we'll be going over every single 40k race and rating them on this tier list from the most pure of soul and baseness to the most cringe and soulless. With that being said, let us begin. First up, we got the Adeptus Custodes. These guys are pretty meh. Like, their lore is dope and their models are cool, but their faction is so one note and lacks that key of soul bit that just makes them eh. There would need to be a pretty big shakeup on their lore, honestly, to get them out of the rut they're in. I can't really see or understand how that would even happen, but there would need to be something. At the moment, they're just big golden bodyguards, so they're pretty boring. Their lore will never really change unless the Emperor gets off his ass, which I don't think is ever going to happen. Next up, we got the Adeptus Mechanicus. Very nice. Instant, I like them. Their lore is awesome. Their models are mostly okay. All in plastic, delicious. You could play these guys however you want them. They could be the most wacky scientists or the most downright evil group. There's just so many ways you can style their lore that just makes them so just amazing. If it wasn't for some of my issues with some of their, with their lack of any real lore, unless it's Belisarius' Call, I'd rate them higher. Sisters of Battle, no big issues. That one's pretty easy. The only real issues they have is the fact that, I don't know, I really have no real big issues now that I think about it. But I have no real reason to also rate them higher. They have no really cool characters. Their lore isn't particularly anything new or interesting. The all-sister component is pretty dope, though. But they do have a nice lot of Kumar. So, yeah, I'll leave them here. Might raise them up depending at the end of how I see everyone where they're at. Eldar, instant, based and pure soul. One of the best armies. If only their models were the best, they would probably be replacing Space Marines as the poster boys. Everyone knows this. GW knows this. That's why they don't refuse to update them, because they're afraid of Eldar taking over, like in Age of Sigmar. Imperial Guard, same thing as Eldar. The best faction. Like, these two compete for best faction. Imperial Guard are amazing in the fact that you can have Imperial Guard versus anybody else in this list, and you could just start imagining your headcanon. Just, it writes itself, really. Especially if you're doing, like, Guard versus Tyranids or Guard versus Orcs. Those iconic battles that you just want to see and you love. Like, you could immediately imagine a movie with the Guard fighting any faction here. Alright. We, had some good run, though. Two pretty good factions, like the best. Time to go to the shit. Chaos. Instant, like, cringe and soulless, honestly. The fact that they permeate their lore with their stink is awful. Like, Chaos would be fine if they didn't, how do I put this, interject themselves into every single conflict. Like Armageddon, Chaos decided to show up. Octarius War, Chaos decided to show up. It's like, you can't have any Xeno versus Imperium conflicts as long as Chaos is around, because eventually GW is to be like, oh, we better shove in Chaos, or better remind everybody that Chaos is the actual threat, when the demons are just a symptom of that. I don't like them, but I appreciate their existence in 40k lore, but I'll look at you sideways if you play against me with them. Chaos Titans, their models are super cool, same issues though, but their models are so dope that I have to really have here. Honestly, yeah, the issues are tied to Chaos on this tier list. That it can't really be fixed easily, but what are you going to do? Chaos easily goes into this tier, though I will say, out of all the Chaos factions, I like the Chaos Space Marines the most. Honestly, also, if I could remove Abaddon, I'd immediately bump these guys to I like them. Abaddon is such a crutch for Chaos Space Marines because he is such a lame character that I am on it. Like, if this was just character based, I'd put Abaddon, like, I don't know, below Cringe and Soulless. Like, there would be an Abaddon tier just for how much I dislike that character. I have no idea what GW thought when they made him. I mean, I guess I can think of what they thought what to do. They were like, "Oh, we can just do Archaon again, where we have the leader of the evil religion being an atheist because that's cool." Freaking lame. All right, we have Mortarion and the Death Guard. These guys, no big issues. Honestly, their biggest issue is that they're tied to Mortarion. Kind of one of the lamer Primarchs, but that also makes them interesting. Also have that shit cunt Erebus. But, yeah, no big problems. I'd put them up higher if they had a cooler Primarch. Their models are amazing. Dark Eldar, same as Eldar, but out of the Guardsmen, actually, now I think about it, I only like a third of their model line. That's the Homunculus, and they're definitely below Mechanicus, but they're still amazing and just awesome. Gene Stealers, they are the kings of have issues but could be redeemed. Honestly, thinking about it, they might be in no big issues. The only issue I have with them is that they're tied to the Tyranids, which makes them lame. Like, if I could remove them from Tyranids, like say, oh, they're just an alien species that drunk the Imperial Kool-Aid and just decided to take over humanity from the inside, that would have been far more cooler than just being like cultists for the Tyranids. So yeah, they could be eventually, maybe one day, be redeemed. I don't know. They'd have to make. There's no way you could really make characters because they all tend to die afterwards, or anything big. All right, Grey Knights they're just lesser custodies. Let's be real here. Same issues. They're boring, one note, and they just fight the most boring faction in 40k. The only character I like here is Caldor Drago, and the only reason I like him is because if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device, they're definitely, you know what, I like them less than Chaos Space Marines. There we go. Just in case anybody thought I was an Imperial fanboy. I like, also think about it, I like Chaos Space Marines more than any Custodians and the Gene Stealer cultists. I honestly feel weird putting more I do like Fabius Bile. No, if I had Fabius Bile, if I had to rate Chaos Space Marines on Fabius Bile, he'd be jumping up here, but no. If I could damn the entire thing for Abaddon and a bunch of other Chaos characters, then I can't really uplift it just because I like Fabius. Knights. Lesser than Chaos Knights, surprisingly. They're even more boring. They really don't add anything to the lore besides Giant Mecha. And if I wanted Giant Mecha, I'd have Tau. Votan. Ugh. Problems. I don't like their lore. I feel like we should have updated more models, like updated everybody's models rather than putting in Space Dwarves. I don't like really their entire aesthetic at the moment, but maybe with a couple books they can go up higher. I don't know, I feel like their niche is already covered by the Tau in a way, and the Necrons. Like, if you're not having your dwarves fight elves, then, like, what's their point? Necrons, easy, I like them. This one's hard. Yeah, I like them a lot. Egyptian Space Terminator Robot Skeletons. Oh my god. I just drool over their new models too. So amazing, so dreamy. I love every single one of their guys, honestly. They're above Dark Eldar. Orcs, no big issues. They're fun, but they also really don't matter much, or at least GW is seemingly not going to give them anything to matter with. Like, they made them lose the Octarius War. That stupid Cringe Space Wolf character beat Gazgul in a 1v1. Still very, very I'm very steamy about that. I'm not even that big of an orc fan. I just don't like Space Marines winning all the time. Space Marines. Honestly, I'm putting them under Chaos Space Marines. So they have issues, but they can be redeemed. Just got to kill off the entire Space Wolf chapter. Kill off Marinius Calgar. Focus more on Gabriel. Who else is cool? Actually, just focus more on the Blood Angels, the Blood Ravens, Imperial Fists, Crimson Fists, Black Templars. Those are the cool Space Marine chapters. Oh, and White Scars too, I guess. Raven Guard are just the forgettable middlemen that nobody really remembers. Ooh. Tau Tau Tau. They are lesser than Votan to me. They are. I like the mecha design. Not a big fan of the lore. Not because they're not grim dark enough. It's because they went back on. I liked them better when they were like the only good guy faction in 40k. Because if the only good guy faction is this weak, pathetic little blob in the middle of nowhere that could be snuffed out easily, it makes the setting feel so much more grim. Especially when they had that hopeful, like, youth energy that they had going on. So, yeah. If they went back to being the good guys, I put them at no big issues just because their narrative, they have a point, at least, then, in the setting. No big issue. No. This one's hard. This one's hard. They would definitely be here. I have no big issues with the Thousand Suns. They don't get to do that much, but every single time I read one of their books or they appear in the lore, it always tends to be fun. So we'll put them at the king if I have no big issues with them. If anything, the only minor complaint I have with them is they don't have enough models for me to love them even more. Tyranids. Easy. I like giant space bugs in any sci-fi setting, so there. Yeah, no, they're perfect. I mean, I just like these three factions more. There's nothing really much I can say negative about Tyranids. I really like them. They are. If I was playing Guardsmen, I'd want to play a Tyranid player all the time, just because that'd be so Starship Troopers. It'd be amazing. And then we have. They are definitely out of all the God armies. Honestly, never mind. I hate Angron. I despise Angron, so he is going... I don't like Angron. Angron weighs this faction down. Karn is awesome, is the only thing I really like that in the Khorne Berserkers. These guys were cooler as a piece of the Chaos Space Marines. Honestly. Now that I think about it, I have talked more positively about Chaos Space Marines and Space Marines. They can be here. I have no big issues. But no, that'd be a lie. I fucking despise Abaddon. It hurts putting him up here, but I can't sink an entire faction just because I despise Abaddon with the fury of 1,000 hot pockets. Don't ask how hot pockets can be furious. I'd have to kill you for that information. Alright, anything else that rings out? Sisters of Battle. That almost started a Sister Battle of Army, so don't think that this tier is an insult. If you are on the no big issues and up, at one point or another, I have considered collecting models for you, except orcs. But that's because I don't like painting green. I actually own some Eldar models, thinking about getting some Guard models. I own some Mechanicus models because I got those as a gift. I really like those models. Dark Eldar, you know, they're good where they're at. But yeah, that is the definitive list on where every 40k race lands. Remember, this is 100% unbiased, pure fact. You can't really argue against me in my pure logic, but I welcome you to try. Anyway, have a good one.